So do you believe dragons are real? I really should write about dragons. So, I think you'll find this interesting. I talked to an actual dragon who has been on the tour in Glastonbury for centuries. Many, many, many years. She's a big blue dragon. And I've validated this with other dragon workers with what colour did you make her out to be? Was she big or small, etc. So shortly after the priestess activation for dragons, I started to connect with various dragons on the earth. And the first thing I did was driven passionately to go down to Glastonbury and see the dragons and meditate close by with them. And I stayed in a little healing kind of bed and breakfast place. And I meditated on the morning, did my morning practice, set it all up. And I was very close to the tour, I could see it from the patio. And I have to do it while I'm walking, otherwise I don't have time, not with work and everything. So unfortunately I have to try and multitask. So I sat there, I could see the tour from the patio where I was staying, and I did a morning meditation because I'm up early and nothing was open yet. And I was saying how I'm going to come and talk to you and blah blah blah. And there's two dragons on the tour. There's a red male and a blue female. And when I saw the blue female and started to actually have a conversation with her in this meditation, I was absolutely shocked. Because it's weird, right? It's, oh my God, I'm talking to a dragon. And it was like a real movie in real life. And I was talking to her. And I was just like, oh my God, hello, it's lovely to meet you. And she was like, is it? Is it lovely to meet me? This big smile. And she said, I'm going to show you something. And then she sped past time. It was almost like she just fast forwarded to the past, where I was a high priestess in Avalon, locking up after King Arthur had died. Now, he didn't actually die, he just went back to Avalon. And I knew he wasn't buried there. I could feel he wasn't buried there when I was looking at the possible places for his grave. I've always been a massive Excalibur, Merlin, Arthur fanatic. As a little girl, I'd watch the movies for hours. Over and over and over. I've just read a beautiful book, actually, The Mists of Avalon, which portrays Morgana in a much better way than the movie Excalibur did. She was an amazing person, and I've, been working with her quite a bit. I've not done her temple yet. That is coming, but she has come to me in practices and held my hand. So, and when I do the Akashic records, I see Merlin a lot. So anyway, she sped past time. A bit like that movie Lucy. You know, when all the time speeds past and then she sits on the chair and she goes back through the ages until she meets the primitive ape version of human, etc. And she sped back time and showed me when I was standing there, very emotional, and saying goodbye to her because she was a dear friend. So she understood that in this lifetime I didn't remember her until she activated that in me. And it was just beautiful. She's faded. She's not as vibrant and bright in colour. She's tired. It's been hard work keeping the tour energies clean and clear. There's so many mixed energies in that area. There's a lot of drugs and people who call themselves spiritual who do drugs, but the drugs and the alcohol splits your chakra webs and auras and creates holes, and then you get played with. So it's not good. So in Avalon there's a lot of drug use, a lot of bad energies. So she has to work really, really hard to keep this area clean and pure. And when she took me back in time to when I was saying goodbye to her all that time ago, it's almost like these things activate your DNA so that you remember things. And I'll do another video on how we use technology today to meet up with each other, whereas actually one day we should be able to do this telepathically with meditation. Some of us already are, but we could also do it differently. And there's little accidents where you know this, but I'll talk about it more in a different video, where you know, you can hear somebody you're very close to, that they're in danger or that they've died. We can already do it, just not so much consciously. So I'll talk about that separately, and how all these fabulous land spaces with the rocks and that, for generations, people like Mary Magdalene have been going around and keeping them clean and doing work on them, and also putting knowledge into the rocks. They're like a hard drive on your computer. They store information, and that is why we are called to visit these places, because there's information there that we can upload. And it's almost like you will go to these places or meet people that then activate and wake up a bit more knowledge in your DNA. You know, everything is in us. Even scientifically, you know, there's a massive amount of our brain that isn't used. And I think scientists call certain DNA as junk DNA. It's not. It's inactive knowledge. None of it is junk. We have really amazing bodies. We don't just carry things for the sheer sake of it. It'd be an utter waste of time. Everything has a reason and purpose. So when you go on this spiritual journey, you meet people, they activate you, you go to places, you remember things, you have an uplifting experience. Go, how do I know this? Why do I feel this way? It's because you're connecting with your soul from the past and other journeys that you've been on. And it's incredible. I mean, I used to go to church a lot and with the Christian community that I was in, but I found the knowledge very limiting. They just kept reading the Bible over and over and over and not doing much else. Right, girls, Melinda! Hold on. Sorry, I just met another dog on the walk, so just had to call her back. I just think it's amazing what our bodies and minds can do. And it just blew my mind when I learned all this. I remember my first spiritual awakening, and that's another story. But I just wanted to end this by saying it's really strange what is possible. But more and more of us are waking up, evolving into a new type of human, where we're no longer suppressed. We can feel what is real. And that in itself is another video. How we're being suppressed. And that is why you get so many people talking about these conspiracy theories and everything, is because this is actually a massive spiritual war going on, a big spiritual battle. It's not just about digital IDs. It's not just about, one thing or another. There is actually a deliberate attempt to stop you from embracing your superpowers. And you may not embrace them in this lifetime, but you will in the next or the one after. But maybe you are a parent or a grandparent to somebody who is much more evolved than you might imagine. And I think a lot of special needs are being misdiagnosed as special needs, whereas it's actually evolution. So there's a lot of things going on, but I shall share more stories with you as I go along my adventure. And I use my spirituality to actually just stop all this rubbish with the council as well. So it's not just about court. You can report them to the Board of Karma and everything. And then the people harassing you in the council will just get a lot of bad luck, bad karma going their way. So, it doesn't help when they mess with people. You can't burn us witches at the stake anymore, Now, we just sort you out. And modern day witches rock. So the word witches is not associated with wise women, but witches means wisdom, Wicca, and it's women who knew stuff, women who led societies, women who had the ability to heal with natural solutions in ways that pharmaceutical stuff cannot do. So that was my story of the dragon on the tour, and I will tell you about the white Wales dragon next.